Hey everybody, Bob Marston coming to you from Eastlake on the east side of Birmingham, Alabama for another episode of A Song for Sunday. Well, this week I picked a song that is a classic. It's one of my favorites by one of my favorite artists, and it's also it applies pretty well to today's current events. It was all precipitated by me noticing something, probably in my social media feed or something, like an advertisement must have been, and it started this whole train of thought. So there's an online retailer that's called The Company Store. And, I get it. When I saw it at first, my very first thought was, I think what they're going for, which is this sort of old-timey, rustic, quality-made goods like back in the day. I'm imagining like LL Bean or Eddie Bauer or Cabela's or something. It's this sort of rustic, high-quality, low flash, shabby chic or whatever, like a barn door going to your kitchen. And I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what's popular these days. What I think it doesn't, clearly it doesn't do for everybody what it also does for me, because they chose it as their company name. And marketers are just like politicians. All they do is, figure out who they're trying to connect with and what they're trying to do. And they research things and figure out how best to present that message in a way that can be quickly understood. So I'm not blaming those folks, but it does kind of show us where we are in this cycle, because the company store is also like the company town and the company school. And at least here in Birmingham, the company town had like gun turrets at the front gates because they had to crush unionizing and organization efforts. So whether it's taking people out to what they call field trips and beating them nearly to death to convince them that they shouldn't, try to organize a union, or just any of the other anti-union things that were done back when there were company stores. Clearly, that isn't called up into the collective consciousness when we see that anymore. And that reminds me of how history is, it's either a cycle or people say that, it repeats or it rhymes. And it seems that cycle is just outside of, it's just long enough that the generation that lived the last cycle is either gone or nobody's listening to them. Because, here we are again where we were, between 90 and 120 years ago. It was called the Gilded Age. There's plenty of YouTube stuff out there. Go educate yourself if you don't know about it. But it's when the robber barons, were seen as, at first, these titans of industry and entrepreneurship, and then we all realized that stuff really wasn't good for the community and it wasn't good for the business people, and then we had the labor movement, right? And for those of you who don't know, there's more research, but like all the things that you take for granted in your work life, most of us, especially if you're an employee, 40-hour work week, paid overtime, no child labor. Those were just some of the very early things that were established by the efforts of unions and the labor movement that we now just take for granted as just part of what it means to be a worker in the United States. So, I guess I'm singing this song to maybe motivate some people that didn't know about that sort of thing to check it out, because we're having that again, whether it's Amazon or Starbucks or the UAW is on strike right now. The Writers Guild just got done striking, and the Actors Guild is on strike now. And I found out literally by watching some stuff through the bluegrass people that I follow that there's a musicians union as well. And I didn't even know that. The bosses, so to speak, don't just give these concessions to people for nothing. It was won by people risking their employment, their family's security, and literally their lives, especially back then, to say, if you want our work, you're going to treat us fairly. And so just, why else would they put so much, they being the companies, why would they put so much money and time, nowadays time and money, back then, bullets and whatnot, into avoiding unions if unions didn't actually help the workers? Because a lot of times nowadays, Amazon will tell their workers, well, it doesn't really matter if you have a union or not. It won't be any different. It'll either be worse or just the same. Well, if that's the case, why don't they just say, okay, go ahead and unionize it? It didn't make any difference. If it really isn't going to make any difference, then what's the problem? So anyway, with all that preaching, speeching, and teaching I've just done, let's have a little song. This one's the immortal 16 Tons by Merle Travis. Some people say a man's made out of mud, but a poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, skin and bone, a mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. Picked up a shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 tons, number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store. I was born one morning in a drizzling rain, fighting and trouble in my middle name. Was raised in the cane bed by an old mama lion. Can no high-toned woman make me walk the line? You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store. Well, if you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. I got one fist of iron, and the other is steel. And if the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. Well, I sold my soul to the company store. Well, let me know what you think about that version of the song. I kind of tried to slide it between Merle's version and the big hit version by Tennessee Ernie Ford. You got any other Union songs that you like? Do you think that what I've said is full of crap? I would love to get into a huge argument, because boy, if there's one thing that is an inarguable fact, it is that labor unions help working people. And they not only help the working people that are in them, they help the working people that aren't in them. Because all the factories down south that make the Japanese cars, they've got to compete with Detroit. And if Detroit has union workers, then all you folks that are working for Honda over there in Lincoln, you're benefiting from what the UAW is doing right now. So I love all y'all, and we can have this discussion, but the facts are the facts, the history is the history. Make sure you check it out, educate yourself, and hey, take part. Our lives are what we make them, right? So anyway, jump in the comments, do whatever you want, like things, don't like things, share, don't share, whatever you'd like to do. I'm really grateful for the time that I have right now, and mostly grateful for the fact that I get to come and talk to you all each Sunday. So make sure, above all, take care of yourselves, take care of the people around you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.